Hi everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again so soon. We are going to start off this video with something lovely, something really nice, something a little bit different. And that is the royal family have shared a montage, a video clip of King Charles opening up some of the letters and the cards that he's received. He gets a little briefcase every single day with his paperwork that the palace aides sort through, priorities and things. And they have been gathering a selection, a handful of cards and notes that have been coming through that they think will put a smile on the king's face. And it's, it just made me feel a little bit fluffy and I thought I'd share it. So I do believe that Catherine, Princess of Wales, possibly has her own little box, and we know that lots of people are sending in cards and letters to her. So I thought of you guys, any of you guys around the world that think that you might like to send something to the King or the Princess of Wales. In the description of this video, I have put both of their addresses that you write to in case you wanted to pop something off in the post. Now, as I said in the last video, I have watched it last night, 23 minutes of a Hulu documentary. I don't know why Hulu amuses me so much. It's one of those words that you say and then it makes you giggle. The other day I lost it because someone called a peacock a disco chicken and it had me in hysterics for ages. So who knows? It's little things in my life that make me laugh. But anyway, so this Hulu documentary of Harry, it's titled Prince Harry's Mission, Life, Family and the Invictus Games. And I'm telling you now, it's just a propaganda video reigniting evil royal family. Poor Prince Harry, nasty Prince William, Harry the hero. And the veterans, bearing in mind this was done at Whistler around the veterans 1 year ago, getting ready for next year's Invictus Games. He spoke in this little mini documentary to two veterans in the last, 2 minutes at the end of this documentary. I don't even know if we're calling it that. It's just a rehash of lots of different interviews. You had the Good Morning America one, which we know he came over quickly to see the King because he could use it as clickbait. The whole advert for it was Harry talks King's cancer diagnosis. Harry discusses family. Well, he couldn't have really plugged that as a way to get people to watch the interview if he hadn't stepped foot in the UK and seen his family. But of course, we have got two favourable Sussex reporters. You've got Robert Jobson and then you've got Victoria Murphy, who pop up occasionally just to add their little bit of commentary on top of the interviews. But the interviews used were things from Netflix, of course, rehashing about poor Prince Harry, how Prince William was protected, yet he wasn't. The palace were ready to lie for William, but not to protect Harry and his wife. Then you have Meghan about how she wasn't being thrown to the wolves, she was being fed to the wolves, all of that nonsense. Then we've got several interviews that went around Spare to do with Harry's relationship with his family. So this is very much still using the association to the royal family and mainly the dramas and the accusations that Harry and Meghan directed at the royal family to try and get more people, I would imagine, on side. This was directed at, I would say, an audience that haven't been following the drama, that don't remember pre-Megxit, after Megxit, and they haven't seen all of the lies. This is for a whole new audience, and it's just reigniting the whole thing that Harry and Meghan, the poor innocent duo that were forced from the country by the dark, evil, nasty royal family, who have then fled to start their life of charitable service and good deeds. As I said, it's just complete propaganda. Obviously, the Invictus does get brought up quite a lot, and it's very much how Harry brought the Invictus Games to London, how Harry is the patron, the founder. The Invictus Games would not exist if it was not for Prince Harry. Harry brought it to London to be part of the royal family. Harry got the Queen and President Obama and Michelle Obama to be involved. Harry is the hero and the saviour and the creator of the Invictus Games. That is very clear throughout this brief documentary. Now, I know that I sound like a broken record for those of you that have followed me for a long time when I bring up the fact that Prince Harry was not the only patron of the Invictus Games. But as it turns out, I've got a few new subscribers onto the channel, so it is for the newbies. Just in case you didn't already know that the Invictus Games was created by the Royal Foundation of Princes William and Harry and the Duchess of Cambridge. Prince William's team alongside Harry's team all worked together alongside veterans and, most importantly, Sir Keith Mills to create the Invictus Games. If you don't believe me, you can hear it in Harry's own voice about how it was their foundation and how they are working together to help veterans.
As the focus inevitably moves elsewhere, through the work of our foundation, William and I will continue to draw attention to the challenges facing all those leaving the armed forces.
Now, the Invictus Games used to be under the royal umbrella, and Victoria Murphy makes it very clear in this documentary that it's Harry's baby. Harry made sure of that when he left, and you can see the decline in the popularity of the Invictus Games since Harry and Meghan have been allowed so much control over it. When it was very much the royal family, when Harry could get Michelle and Barack Obama on there, when the Queen was involved, when members of the royal family did come along and support the Invictus Games, they attracted celebrities and A-listers. The benches were packed. There was not a spare seat in the house. Look at the type of performers that they would have at the closing ceremony. For example, look at the sponsorships that they would have. The crowds were huge. We know from the most recent Dusseldorf Games that Harry and Meghan were packed in to crowds in segments. So basically the photographers and the camera crew, whatever sport was playing, they generally tended to pack everyone in nice and tight, so it looked like that the crowds were packed out in the stadium. Now, I can tell you, when I was looking at clips that were being released from veterans and people, family members, that were recording on their mobile phones and then uploading it to social media, you didn't have the clever trickery of the film crews. So as they were scanning it round, you'd see the crowds, you'd see Harry and Meghan, and you would see all of these empty seats, no matter what the event was. And I found that really, really sad to see. The closing ceremony did attract a lot more people, but all of those seats still, considering the size of the stadium, if that was still being supported by the royal family and the veterans were the ones most importantly being elevated, not Meghan's latest catwalk show, then those seats would be filled with bottoms, I am sure of it. But Victoria Murphy makes a point of slipping it in there that since Harry left the royal family, that the royal family no longer support the Invictus Games. Well, that's because Harry claimed it as his own. Harry clearly has taken creative control. Meghan has the microphone at every available opportunity, giving speeches. And as I said, it's her very own personal PR and catwalk fashion show. In the beginning, when they were under the royal family's umbrella, Harry and Meghan especially, she was wearing Invictus logo. She was dressed down. She looked like anybody else that was attending because it was about the veterans. Now you've got her dressed in thousands of pounds of clothes. She changes her outfit with each depending sports game that she goes to see, sometimes 3-4 times in a day, plus lots of new jewellery that she's always merching. It's very much a bone of contention for people that want to support the veterans. And we are hearing a lot more whispers from members of the armed forces, from people that are veterans, people that have taken part, and family members. They are so sick to the back teeth of it being the Harry and Meghan show. Now, also in this documentary, Robert Jobson likes to say that Prince William is jealous of the success that Harry had with the Invictus Games. Again, as I say, Prince William helped set it up, and I don't believe for one second that Prince William would be jealous of the success of the Invictus Games. He would be happy for the veterans and all of the people that take part in it. I don't believe that for one second. There is clearly one brother that is very, very obsessively jealous over the other, and it's not Prince William. Now, where I said it was a propaganda video as well, the sort of documentaries that they're rehashing, as I said, it goes back to Netflix, it goes to Spare. It's very much the cruelty and the treatment of Prince Harry and how the royal family turned their back on him. He brings up Diana, well, the actual reporter brings up Diana, and they are rehashing that. How do you think that your mother, Princess Diana, would feel about the fallout Harry makes a point back then, which we're reminded of, about how he knows that his mother would be heartbroken at how William and William's office are the ones that basically broke the pact and started attacking Harry. And it's the British media, never forget the British media's fault that the Wales versus the Sussexes happened. And you see the reporter saying, so do you feel that if they hadn't pitted you against each other, then the fallout wouldn't have happened? Harry's like, yes, basically, yes, I believe that. Do you feel the same about Catherine and Meghan? That if it wasn't for the British press trying to pit Meghan and Catherine against each other, do you think that was the cause that caused the two women to fall out? Harry's like, yes, absolutely. There is no blame whatsoever put on Meghan, despite the fact that she made Harry fall out with all of his friends, all of his family, anyone from his old Etonian pals, his former best friends, you got the Beckhams, you've got so many people that Harry has cut out of his life, but he can't see it's because of one common denominator, and it's not the British press. Other microaggressions, which tells me that Meghan and Harry were very much tick-boxing everything to do with this release of this documentary. Any mention of Harry and Meghan's children, it's Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. Yet when they talk about the Wales children, it's just George, Charlotte and Louis, no titles. Also, every reference to Catherine, not the Princess of Wales, not the Duchess of Cambridge, it's Kate. So you can tell by those little microaggressions, it's all been approved by the Montecito camp. So yes, there's nothing really more to say about this Hulu one-off. I don't know if it's a one-off, I hope it's a one-off, but rehash of old TV documentaries all put together to make it one. Harry the hero, evil royal family, lovely Meghan, nasty, awful British press. And it's tiresome. As I said, I think it was directed at an audience that may be a fresh audience that maybe are not aware of all of the games and the tricks and the lies that these two have told. But for Harry then saying he wants to repair the relationship with his family, but of course the next day, pretty much after seeing his father, after coming uninvited, delaying the King's helicopter from flying off to Sandringham, he then does a TV interview with Good Morning America. So it shows that Harry cannot be trusted. It also shows that the Invictus Games cannot trust Harry and Meghan to promote them. They were walking around Whistler with all of these photographers and all of these camera crews, so people thought it was maybe them making sure that there is definitely coverage of the veterans, of the sports, of the coaches, of the families that are all going to be taking part. Nope, it was just another segment of the Harry and Meghan Markle show. Obviously, at this point, it doesn't take a genius to work out that veterans and the Invictus organisers must be tearing their hair out a little bit. This might be why that the Ministry of Defence, the government, have put in a bid to try and claw back the Invictus Games to the UK and the 2027 Games. They're apparently putting in a bid for it. Maybe it's because they genuinely wish to help the veterans. Queen Camilla, I think it might have been a subtle dig when she was at an engagement recently, said this, and I have to say, we do agree with you, Your Majesty. So it's not surprising to me that the Invictus Games might be making moves within itself to try and stop Harry and Meghan exerting so much control, or rather taking over the Invictus Games, because news has come out that Invictus Germany has now splintered. It is its own entity with its own patron, who is Dr. Stefan Keller, the Dusseldorf mayor. He is listed as patron, and there is no mention of Harry and Meghan. Most importantly, in the wording, it says, the Invictus Games show in a unique way how meaningful sport is for rehabilitation. That is why the Invictus Germany focus on the sporting event. Yes, and not what Meghan Markle is wearing. In addition to the veterans taking part, they are also including blue light organisations, which are the police and the fire department, plus 7 more nations have been invited to attend. So this could be absolutely huge for the Invictus Games. I will definitely be interested to see, because it happens this year. There is no mention of Harry and Meghan going to it. They've not said that they're going to it. So we might actually finally start getting some coverage of the games, of the sporting events, of the families and the veterans themselves. Now, Harry has made it very clear that when he comes over to St Paul's Cathedral in May, that he now wants to make sure that Meghan and the children that we have never really seen, because they keep well hidden, will be coming with him. Now, that again in itself. So you are coming to the UK for a special service to celebrate the 10 years of the Invictus, but you're going to bring your children that no one's really seen, that will guarantee that the world's media will be watching them. So again, Harry straight away, by even declaring it, one, surely that's a bit of a security risk to his family. As I said, you're announcing the fact that you might be bringing your children. And two, it's about keeping the focus of the Invictus Games about them. They are using the Invictus Games as their very own promotional company. But in some good news, I think Meghan has found the perfect excuse not to step foot on UK soil, and that is because His Majesty's government has won the court case against Prince Harry. That is, Prince Harry has been kicking up a stink about demanding that he has his taxpayer-funded security reinstated. His challenge was against the UK government for stripping him of police protection when he was in the UK. Now, I've got to point out that Harry does get police protection when he attends family events and engagements that are related to the royal family. If he ever stays with his family ever again, if they ever trust him, Harry will then also have police protection. What this means is Harry cannot have police following him and Meghan around when they come over for their little jollies, when they're coming over on business trips. Harry will not have armed security with him. He can bring his own detail, he can hire ex-Scotland Yard, but what it means is they cannot carry guns. This, I think, that Harry was going to use if he'd have won to try and get back his internationally protected person status, which means taxpayers all around the world, whatever country Harry and Meghan went to, would have to pay for Harry and Meghan to have top security, like what we saw when they went to New York. And I think they even had the Secret Service at some point with them. So, of course, that brings me to the final story, and that is, what visa exactly is Harry on? Someone emailed me last night and they said that they believe that Harry is on the A1 visa. Now, the A1 visa is given to heads of state and heads of government, and it means that once they qualify for it, they automatically qualify. It doesn't matter their reason for travel. It doesn't matter what they're in the United States for. But it also means that direct immediate family can go on an A1 visa. Harry is obviously the second son of the king, so Harry could potentially be on that type of visa. But it does also state you must be travelling to the US on behalf of your national government to engage solely on official activities for that government, which, as we know, Harry is not. He's not acting on behalf of the crown. He's not acting on behalf of the government. Harry is only acting on behalf of himself. But it does make me wonder, is this why the sudden mad scramble that we saw recently of Harry and Meghan relaunching themselves, trying to pretend that they are still working royals, this half in, half out thing that they're heavily trying to push? If you think about it, they only launched their website, 3 weeks ago? They'd only bought it, I think, a previous 2 weeks before that. They hadn't been working on this for loads of time. They'd only just bought it off of the businessman that had previously owned Sussex.com. Harry and Meghan are now trying to heal the rift with the royal family. And I think it boils down to that they're trying to reshuffle Harry's paperwork, because Harry is desperate to hang on to his visa status, which obviously, if this gets disclosed that Harry is there and he's lied on specific paperwork, he's got to rely on the fact that he's the second son of the king, and if anything happened to Harry when he's on US soil, it could cause diplomatic problems and all of that. But I can't see that the king would fight for Harry to be on that type of special visa. But isn't it funny how this all came out round about the time that Harry is now fighting for his visa status to remain completely private? As I said, it's either DHS or Prince Harry. Someone is hiding something, that's for sure. It wouldn't surprise me at all that Harry and Meghan are only now trying to get back in with the royal family for two things. One, they want to be able to create more drama, and they know the royal family is going to reject them, so it gives them a monetary output again where they can play victims, although I'm not sure there's many people that would be willing to listen to that being kicked off all over again. But also it means that Harry and Meghan can then try and pretend to the world that they are somehow these pseudo working royals, that they are over on that visa because he is working on behalf of the crown. It's only recently, as I said, that Harry said that he is going to hold talks with the First Nation chief when he is in Canada next year to talk about the crown's commitments to the Indigenous people, and Harry does not have the authority to be doing that. So guys, what with that going off, and it doesn't seem to be going in Harry's favour, Harry has now lost the court case about how he has been singled out with Meghan, how he is being mistreated, about how Ravik have changed the rules, that Harry is being treated differently to everyone else. He doesn't want special treatment, but quite clearly he does. And not only that, and this really shouldn't come as a shocker to any of you, Harry has already said that he is going to be fighting it. He is hoping that the judge turns around and says, look, sunshine, I'm not going to give you a chance to contest this, because Ravik did the same that they would have done for anyone else who quit the country and quit being a working member of the royal family. But Harry is now going to be responsible, I'm sure, for paying a lot of court fees. When you lose, you have to pay your lawyers still, but also this court case, the last I checked, was supposed to be costing anywhere from £500,000 to £1 million, which was coming out of the UK taxpayers' purse because he was suing His Majesty's government. So I hope that Harry is told that he has to pay back every single penny to the taxpayers' purse. So for all of you saying, oh, I just don't feel like there's enough happening for Harry, it seems like that Karma is definitely stepping up her game, and I'm here for every moment of it. So guys, that's it for me. I will be back with you very soon. Don't forget, if you would like to send a card or a letter to the King or the Princess of Wales, the address is available in the description of this video. Take care. Bye.